YouTube, Awesome Rider here. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking my top 10 favorite Super Sentai power-ups in honor of our quasi-recent debut of our new team power-up in Gozyuger. I say quasi because I'm filming this right before Blue gets to use it, but I don't know when it's going to go up because my schedule's been all over the place because they've been doing construction here in my condo complex, and I've only been able to record at sporadic times, so videos I've had planned for certain times just didn't work. So for this video, unlike the last one where I included Power Rangers, is only Sentai ones, not for purist reasons, just I wanted to look at it on Sentai criteria. And for this list, I decided to leave out ones like Triassic Ranger or Orion and stuff like that are basically power-ups where they turn into a whole other different Ranger. Now obviously, like with Triassic, you can totally see the bones of Abre Red underneath, but I wanted to sort of rank this solely based off of power-ups that feel like add-ons. Not for categorization BS, I'm not like, it doesn't count as a power-up! Jewel Whale is the secondary rider. I hate the categorization stuff, like it's completely unimportant. I just wanted to sort of rank these based off of that. If I ever do another list, like a lot of those would rank up higher. Like Triassic's actually become more of a favorite of mine recently. I'm a big Jewel Whale fan, but it just seems weird when I'm trying to think about like what armor and add-on stuff I like, where you have one like Jewel Whale, where if we did an adaptation, you could totally just make that the 7th Ranger. Let's go ahead and get started with number 10, and I'm not usually a fan of chest power-ups. I said this in my previous video and many other videos. I prefer ones that are more transformative, but I do have some that I like, and one of them is Go Caramager. I think it's mainly because I love Caramager so much I have a soft spot for him, but these work. They're fairly simple. I kind of love the contrast of the white and the way you have the wings flaring out to fit the theme. They're not the best, and I would have loved to have seen something different for Caramager that was more, like I said, transformative, but these work well for me. I think it's largely due to my soft spot for the series, but I always like a kind of white contrast on a toku suit. It kind of reminds me of the way the Super Gekkis go, but in armor form. Following that up with Chozetsu from Ninja, which is one that's primarily Red's power-up. It clearly works best with it, but the others did get to use it, which was cool. And sometimes that led to a cool color contrast. I would have loved to have seen them actually design ones that flowed with the color for all 5 or 6 of them. I feel like we maybe would have done that in the US. Different circumstances, maybe. I know we did like the cockpit mode stuff, but I still really like this. I'm not a big fan of Ninja or Ninja Steel, but I love the designs overall of the suits especially, and I thought this was just a really cool power-up. And I also like that here for Ninja Steel, we gave it a storyline that had nothing to do with their regular powers. I thought that was kind of cool, because usually all their powers come from the same place, and I like that that just came from this random Lion Galaxy character. After that is kind of a broad category for number 8, which is the Ryusoulger armors. Like I said, not a big fan of the chest armors, but I generally really liked the Ryusoulger armors. I thought they were some of the most cool and unique. They all stood out from each other, and what I like that because there was so many, you got a decent variety of combos of how they all looked on the Rangers individually, and then also you kind of had an accidental team power-up where they could all be wearing 5, 6 different armors, and I thought that was really cool. Next up, number 7, one I talked about in my top 5 team power-ups, SWAT. As I said in that video, this just works really well with the theme. It feels like a nice extension and evolution of the suit. Works really well. And I'm just now remembering we did toy versions of Omega and Shadow. It would have been cool to maybe see that in the show. Number 6, maybe a surprise, is Super Zenkaiser. I really like this suit. I mean, in general, it's a Dragon Zord armor. That's pretty cool. I know everyone's MMPR fatigued, G-Ranger fatigued, but I thought that was pretty cool. I think in general, it just looks awesome. But my favorite thing about it is because Zenkaiser is a unique series where you have 4 Robo Rangers and then a regular, that you have Zenkaiser being able to fit in with the robot aesthetic when he transforms into a super form. So in addition to thinking it's a cool suit, I always just thought that was cool. Following that up with King Okuagata Oger. Now I like the regular one that you have for Kuwagata Oger. Generally, I like the King Oger suits. I think it's cool. I am a little bit annoyed that we have a lot of gold power-ups, seeming like when they're not doing a gold or silver 6, they're like, we gotta get gold in there somewhere. They're not gonna love Sentai if it's not gold. I love gold! Anyway, I had to do that. But I just like the Okuagata one better, mainly because I think it's cool that like the Rogue Ranger got a power-up like that and you have this yin-yang of the 2 characters, but I think the contrast of the gray just really adds something to it for me. Maybe another surprise, number 4, Boon Champion. Now, I really like 119. Like, in concept, it's much more of what I prefer, which is an armored evolution. Would have been cool to see one like this for everyone. In fact, I think during the series, they did like a what-if imagining, like, we got different powers based off of their different skills and personalities, and I think that would have been super cool to do. But these worked for me way more than I thought they would. Like, it's the concept of, like, a jacket like Shinkenger or an armor that they all get, but it's just so simple and it works with the sort of kind of grounded feel of the Boom Boomger suits, you know, feeling like racing suits, and it works for the racing theme, and they just look cool, and it's really unique, and it's one that really took me by surprise how much I liked them, and I also like the way the powers worked in the show as well. For the top three, number 3, Max Ryusoul Red. Yet again, a series I'm not a huge fan of with Ryusoulger, although I like it way more than a Ninja, but I love the design so much, that's why Ryusoulger's ecosystem is on here twice, but this is probably my favorite Red Ranger armored power-up. I'm not sure how I would feel or rank it against like the Red Ranger power-ups that are like Orion, Whale, Triassic, you know, ones that are turning into a different Ranger altogether, but this one was just so cool, man. It hit me instantly. It's kind of got like a Rider-esque vibe, bit of a Mystic Knights vibe to it. It's just easily my favorite like armored Red Ranger power-up. But then, if you watch the other video, the top 2 are unfortunately going to be the same. Number 2 being Magi Legend. I just really love, like my favorite type of power-up is one where, sure you can get armor, but it's more transformative, feels like an evolution. You know, I love having the creatures' designs protrude off the helmets, kind of the white armor there, the staffs. This was just such a cool one. Not to mention I have a lot of nostalgia and fondness for the Magi Legend figures we got here as well. Or the Mystic Legend, I think we call them here. But yeah, really cool suits. And then number 1 for me, Super Geki Ranger. Sorry if you watched the other video, but I really love these suits. I love the white contrast with the suits, the sort of Super Saiyan-esque aspect of the whiskers coming out and stuff like that. And also, like I said in that video as well, what's cool about this is I love power-ups where you can see that like the main suits seemingly were designed with the power-up in mind, where the Geki Ranger suits don't feel incomplete, but this feels like it finished the picture, finished the puzzle by filling out all these details on some of the more basic parts of the main suits. And I also really love the Spirit Ranger variants as well. But that is just my list. Let me know your favorite Sentai power-ups in the comments as always. Until next time, Dawson Rider, signing out.